So that's why I tell you to always secure the bag.
KPDOD, man.
I want to make sure I secure the future for my son, for myself, for my family.
King!
I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone. Gotta get it on the daily. All I want is dubs. You know what I'm on. I've been chasing after paper. All I know is blood money marathon. I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone. Gotta get it on the daily. All I want is dubs. You know what I'm on. I've been chasing after paper. All I know is blood money marathon. You can catch me with a dime piece. Me and the money inside me. Diamonds in my timepiece. Diamonds in my timepiece. Yeah. Gotta get it on the daily. All I want is dubs. You know what I'm on. I've been chasing after paper. All I know is blood money marathon.
All I know is get it. All I know is I'ma kill it. Money stacked up to the ceiling. Hands down, you should already know I'm the realest. Man, I ain't got time for your feelings. You don't want no smoke, and I ain't playing, boy, I ain't no joke. I'm always ready to ride, and I am on go. I'm just trying to get the bag after bag. All I know about is cash. I'm just trying to make a splash. What you know about that? I am always on the grind. I never caught out, got too much on the line. My kids are never want for anything as long as I'm alive, and that's on everything. Whoa, give it to me straight. When that money's on time, I ain't never late. Any beat I eat, just put it on my plate. Running in this marathon until I can't.
I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone.
What happened was a machine came down, clamped both of my hands down, and had removed 6 digits. I was in a bad situation. I didn't know what else to do, and I knew I needed some type of help, so I called a G law firm. They gave me confidence throughout the whole case that everything was gonna be fine. They're not only lawyers, but they are family. Call the G law firm. I did.
And good evening, everybody. It's your boy Cruz, the Beast from the East with Cruz Inc. Radio 102.8 TV tonight. That's right. We hope that you've had an outstanding weekend and you are set back. And, got to get a shout out first to my boys, the G Law Firm. Thank you all for sponsoring us. If you've been injured and no fault of your own, make sure you contact the G Law Firm, serving Richmond and surrounding areas for over 40 years. Again, they're reliable. They are trustworthy. They care about your case beyond your case. So give them a call at 804-226-4111. Again, 804-226-4111, or go to theglawfirm.com. Man, I got to give a shout out before I bring this special guest on. Shout out to the 49ers who beat the Eagles tonight. Y'all know I'm a big Cowboy fan, so I just told my son, my oldest son, I said he owed me a check for rooting for them tonight because they put a shellacking on the Eagles. So shout out again to the 49ers. Get your popcorn, call your mama, tell a friend to tell a friend, because we have the phenomenal, sensational, the multi-talented brother in this side of God's green earth here with us tonight. I am getting ready to bring to the screen the man that does so many things, and when he does them all well. We're going to be talking about all things Gary Anthony Sturgis. What's going on, Doc?
Hey, what it do, brother? What it do? Good to see you again, Cruz.
Oh, man, it's good to see you. Last time we did an interview, in fact, both our interviews were on the radio station, so we done leveled up, man.
I see that. I love the new format, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you for being here tonight. It's just been, I'm going to start off, Gary. If you will bear with me for a minute, man, this right here is a little special to me because this lady, it is her birthday. Let me do this right here. Start flowing. So happy birthday, Mom,
Happy birthday. That's huge. Happy birthday.
Appreciate that. Man, we got so much to cover here tonight, and we're gonna cover it in a real expeditious time. I like that word expeditious.
Expeditious.
Yeah.
Die word.
Yeah, But I got to ask you first, Gary. I'm looking, man. I see some championship belts in the background right
Oh
there.
yeah. Well, yeah, I got. Well, light gonna hit you, but yeah, I got like wrestling ones. I got boxing ones down there. I collect stuff, man. I've always been a sort of a collector of things: lightsabers, predator masks, movie memorabilia, boxing memorabilia, and this all came up from playing video games. It was like me and my brothers would play games, and like,
Okay.
man, I wish we had a belt that we could pass around. We be beating each other, so we started buying wrestling belts for the wrestling games, boxing belts for the boxing games. It was just, it got out of hand. And it was supposed to be some, replica stuff, but I wound up beating a guy that actually makes a lot of the belts, and I got real
Right.
belts. So when I go play, I go like the football games or whatever, and I wear them. I bring them, have them on my shoulder, whatever. People want to take pictures with me, they think I'm some boxer or something. I'm like, yeah, whatever. They think all black people look alike. So they'd be like, oh, that's Floyd Mayweather. I'm like, I'm way taller than Floyd Mayweather, man. But I take them out for fun. People get a kick out of them, and they're like real belts, and I never fought for them, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. You get the belt without getting beat up.
Without getting beat up, right? But ain't that the whole thing about what I do for a living? I get to play a doctor without ever operating on somebody. I get to play like a cop without ever arresting somebody. So it's like I like this whole life of being you without the risk factor.
Man, say that. For anybody and anybody that don't know Gary Sturgis, don't say y'all living in a rock in a cave or somewhere without TV or whatever, because this man has been just when you look at all of your accomplishments, Gary, it would take us the next 3 hours to talk about all the things that you've done. But I pulled up a couple of fun facts right here that digging, and this one right here, that right there, that you are a musician and that you were a drum major.
Yeah, I was. That's all real stuff. I was a drum major both in junior high school and high school, and I played in the band. That, to be drum major, you had to play music,
Right?
Flute and piccolo, which a lot of people be like, what? Yeah, but I played it really well. Y'all gotta understand. I'm everything I do, I'm good at it. So it's like I was very good at it. So,
Right.
but I didn't like being in the back. If you ever watched the marching band, the woodwind section is always in the back. And the flute piccolo line is literally the last line. I wasn't good at being in the back of nothing, so I wanted to be the drum major, so I headed straight to the front.
Man, that's some tedious work too, man. Especially like I said, the drum major. Boy, y'all got to be high stepping and the way they do it at HBCU schools.
Yeah, it's performance art, man. So that's but that's what I come from. I mean, that's kind of how I got into the whole acting thing, because I've been sort of performing all my life, even the marching bands, the Greek shows with the cues, and Mega Sci-Fi. Shout out to my bros. I mean, I've always been on stage performing, whether it was in acting or whatever. I was always in front of a crowd of people doing something.
Right. I did not know that you were a Q, my brother. I hear you.
Yeah, bro. I pledged Fall 85 Theater Mu Chapter, University of New Orleans. Yes, sir. I've been a Q for a minute.
All you famous brothers are Q. You, DL Hughley, Tom Joyner, Ricky Smiley,
Steve Harvey.
Yeah, Steve Harvey.
Now Anthony Anderson just got in too. So yeah, it's quite a few of us.
Oh man, that's a heck of a fraternity, and just to to know that it just kind of indicative of the work that that fraternity puts in, the brotherhood, and that whole camaraderie, man. It's just phenomenal.
Well, yeah, it's been blessings for me. I mean, you do something in college, and you realize that all of these people that you're in college with, they're going on to do whatever it is they're going to do great in their lives and their careers. And as you get older, you start to realize I got all these people that we're all a part of a group. And whether I met these folks or not, it's been my experience, no matter what city I go to. If I see a guy and he has on those symbols, then we immediately bond and we immediately become cool. And it's a beautiful thing, because that's it's very rare that you could just go to any city and see somebody and be like, I don't know that man from a can of paint, but we have something in common. Right. And once I acknowledge what we have in common, this guy is going to roll out the red carpet for me. And I swear to you, it's like this everywhere we go.
Man, one of the things that I talk about most often when I talk about, I don't name drop just to be name dropping, but I like one of the coolest dudes that I not only had an opportunity to interview, but to kick it with actually is when you were here in Richmond, the G Law firm brought you in. and we were talking
And
about it.
shout out to G too. I wanted to say that when I heard your ad. Shout out to G Law Firm, because these, for those who don't know, I'm not even from Virginia, but I did go there and I did meet these folks at an event that I was hosting, and that's get to hang out with crews and everything. So all solid folks. So yeah, G Law Firm is the business. Good people.
Yeah, that was a segue, man, in terms of where we went out and we were kicking it. And I mean, we went to a club, and I mean, we talking about people everywhere. And yeah, and somebody was like, "Man, he just like he been here in Richmond all his life. The way you flowed and just treated people just like, yo, I'm here to have a good time."
Yeah, man. I mean, I was raised in the South, man. My mom told me, it don't matter what you do in life or achieve in life. You still put your pants on one leg at a time. So you treat everybody with respect. Anybody that makes time for me, I try to make time for them. I'm not special. I just do a special job. You know what I'm saying? People get so caught up in what they do that they forget that you're a person first, and I've always related to people well. So that didn't change as I became more and more successful. Just more and more people wanted to relate to me. And I had no problem with that. I have no problem with interacting with folks. None.
Yeah, and you do that quite a bit. Most people think that, okay, he got somebody else on his Facebook and everything. That's actually you interacting.
Yeah, I work my own profiles. I'm my own guy. I don't have people. You know what I'm saying? I've never been somebody who believes in employing people to be my voice or to speak for me, because people tend to say what they think, and it's looking like it's coming out my face. So no, I don't play that. Now I have had quite a few fake pages popping up, which that tells me I've arrived. You know what I'm saying? You must have made it when people want to clone your page. So I've occasionally run into fake pages and stuff with people putting out stuff, but I find it as flattery, because to me it's like years ago nobody cared who Gary Sturgis was. So if y'all want to make a Gary Sturgis page, just don't go commit no crimes and that, making it look like I did that. You know what I'm saying?
For real though, no
Just
doubt.
saying,
Man, now you are from the Ninth Ward in the Big Easy.
Yep.
What was like kind of growing up in the Ninth Ward? And also, I think you did something special recently, like a couple of years ago, with a film or book or movie. I'm trying to remember. You can.
We shot years ago. We shot Pride there. The movie Pride with Bernie Mac and Terrence Howard. We actually shot that in my hometown of New Orleans, which was really cool because the movie was supposedly set in Philadelphia. So they shot the exteriors in Philly and all of the interiors in New Orleans, which was really interesting. But yeah, I mean, I got to go home to work, which is always a joy for me. So who don't want to go home to work?
Right, man.
Almost drowned when I went out there. That was interesting too. There's a movie about swimming, and I can't swim, but nobody asked me that when they hired me to do the job. And they just get on a plane and say, "Hey, this is what we want you to do." I'm reading the script, like, what the hell? I can't swim, but it was too late at that point. I'd already committed. So, and that was the first day of work. They
you had to jump in the pool.
Very first day. I'm like, why we got to shoot backwards? I'm not gonna have no tape. At this point, y'all could just recast me tomorrow. I'll be in the metro section, actor drowns in movie, and y'all have somebody else that could actually swim playing the part. So, the history lesson could have been a little bit different, but it worked out. I wound up managing to hold my breath just long enough to get through the scene. And you guys can now watch it, because if I watch it, I smell chlorine. So
I'm sure they had plenty of standby folk.
I had a stunt double. Yeah, I actually had a stunt double, but they told me that if you find yourself in distress, pat the top of your head and we'll stop the scene. But what they didn't tell me, see, it's a fine print. They didn't tell me was we're all going to be watching the monitors and the cameras underwater. So I'm up above the water, patting my head, but they're looking at my feet. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at everybody. I'm literally looking right across the pool at everybody on the edge of the pool, just a whole 40 people up in the video village. And they're all looking at the monitors, watching my feet do this while I'm doing this. And I'm looking at my stunt double, dead his face like,
right.
So on the third time I went down, I saw him diving in to save me, but I didn't know, if there'd be anything to save when he got there. So I tried to hold on, and here I am. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I understand, brother. Look, man, that makes that movie memorable for sure.
Yeah, oh man, I swear to God, if that movie comes on right now, I will have a distinct smell of chlorine in my nose. I will smell it. It's just every time I see that movie, I smell chlorine.
That is crazy, but did a good job in that, man. I mean, there hasn't been anything that you have not touched, Gary, in my mindset, and that hasn't been gold for you. You're one of those phenomenal actors, and not just actors, but multi-talented, because you got another hidden talent. And you told me a long time ago, all the films don't always come in, so you got to have a backup plan to the backup plan. And that your backup plan is that you do voiceover work. How the world you get into that, man?
I stumbled into that, man. That was by chance. I happened to go. I was shooting a movie called Volcano many years ago with Tommy Lee Jones. I had a very small part as a homeless person. So small, I don't even think they put me in the credits. But I'm in the movie. If you go watch it, I got a big what do you call it? Police tape I wrapped around my head like Rambo, and I walk into a scene. But I was on set doing that movie. And I got a call from a voiceover agent saying they wanted me to run across town to audition for this, voiceover promo for UPN, which was a network at the time. And I had never done that before, but I'm like, okay, I'm not really doing much here. So I left at lunchtime off the set, drove across town, hurry up and did the audition, came back just before it was time for me to go on. So I ain't get fired from my one-day job with Tommy Lee Jones.
Right.
And this literally was the first job I had in Cali. But that same day, I had an opportunity to do some voiceover stuff, and I went to do the audition. I wound up getting the job, and I wound up being the voice of UPN for the next 8 years. So, so I learned it by doing it. It was one of the situations where I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just know how to read. Somebody's got to tell me how cadence works, timing works, where people like to hear levels on voices, what goes up, what goes down. I learned a lot of stuff. But The guy who brought me into it, Robert Rowe, bless your soul, wherever you are, sir. I always call him White Santa Claus. Because he kept me working, man. It was like at a time when I didn't know what the hell I was doing. If they said that they wanted, we want you to sound like the butler on the Fresh Prince. I'm like, what? I just got this other shit down. But he was right there to just direct me through everything. So it's kind of like, no, you could do it. They'd rather have you. And one time I was totally sick. I literally had the flu, and my voice sounded crazy. So I felt bad about taking their money. So I called them. I said, hey, man, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it in today. It was an everyday job. And I was like, I don't think I'll be able to make it in today. They're like, they'd rather hear you sick than somebody else's voice. So bring your ass in here. So that just was a voiceover was a beautiful thing. But what people don't know that I'm doing more now is I'm writing. As a writer, I'm killing the game. I mean, there's a movie right now. There's about to be 3 of them on Tubi, but there's a movie on Tubi right now called All About a Check. If you guys get a chance, check out the movies by Swift Sloan Productions. My man, is putting out a lot of movies out in the Milwaukee area, and I'm now one of his writers. So I've written like maybe 8 or 9 projects for this guy at this point, and they're starting to come out. So one is out right now. It's called All About a Check. It's doing good on Tubi. So if you guys get a chance to check it out, it's free. Check out the movie All About a Check. It's something I wrote, but I'm not in it, but I did write it.
Speaking of writing, man, I found another fun fact here that you were actually a staff writer for Tyler Perry. That was like crazy. I didn't know that you've been doing writing, man.
Tyler knew because we've been knowing each other since I was 20. So he knew I was a writer. I was writing before he was acting. So he knew that about me. I went down to I know everybody's talking about, they've seen his documentary. And in it, people are telling me, hey, you're in the documentary. I never saw it, but people are telling me I'm in it. And I've gotten screenshots of, I guess, from when we were at the opening for one of his studios. Right. I guess he used some of the footage from that. But anyway, at that moment, for those who've seen the movie, at that particular moment, that's when I started working for him as a writer. That what you saw on that tape, I was in town for the weekend just to be at his opening. And there was a writer strike that was taking place that was very public at the time. And before I left town that Sunday, he asked me would I stay and join the writers, because the other writers were on strike and he needed people to write for the show. So I wound up staying in Atlanta for like another 6 months. It was just on a visit situation. Okay.
So did that kind of lead into your getting involved on screen in some of his most memorable movies, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Daddy's Little Girl?
Oh no, all that came first. I did all that stuff before the writing thing came up. The writing came, I think it was on his second studio by this point. You know what I'm saying? So we had done, the movies had already been done. The only thing I did when the writing stuff came out, the last works that I did for him was actually while I was working as a writer. I did an episode of House of Pain and an episode of Meet the Browns, and I did those. So if you see those episodes, I was working as a staff writer at the time that I shot those. So that was that's the last work that we've done together.
Wow, man. Talking about multi-talented, you are an author as well. And tell us about some of the books or the book that you read.
It was one book. I've been contemplating writing others, but I've been so busy writing scripts that I just don't have the time. But I wrote a book called here. Wait, do I have it right here? I think I might have my. I thought I had a little flyer. I wrote a book called #Why He Won't Marry You, and how you can change that dynamic. Because when I first wrote the title, women was like, but there's a reason. I don't care if you can suck up all the air you want. There's a reason why men don't do things, and it's not always the reasons you think. And I wanted to write a book to sort of tell women what that was about. But that's why the subtitle was, and how you can change that dynamic, just to show women that you have the power to get a man to do exactly what you want him to do. It's just your approach sucks. And I wrote a whole book to show you how to have a better approach to get the man to do what you want him to do, because he don't know. You know what I'm saying? You know, he don't. So it's your job to tell him what he don't know. And in the book, I explain how that all works, because there's a whole premise in the first chapter of how women and men expectations are different, because we were raised differently. Every toy they have is a lifestyle toy. You know what I'm saying? They get an easy bake oven when they're a kid. They get a baby doll that they get to change and feed. I mean, you're a baby just getting off a bottle. Now you sticking a bottle in something else. They're conditioned from a very early age of what it is that they want. And then when they get to their teen years, it's like, oh, I got a Barbie dream house, so now I have lifestyle goals. See, we don't have that. We got Tonka trucks, and we got, GI Joes, and even the GI Jane is muscular. So we're not, you know what I'm saying? There's no dream doll Ken. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we're not, as boys, we're not raised with the same expectations that women are raised to have from us. And a lot of that is just parenting. It's something for years we never teach boys what it is that girls want. All we tell boys, and we're parents, we know, all we tell boys is don't put your hands on them. Don't call them out their name, and don't be in the room alone with them. So there's nothing that we're being taught about young females that when you grow up, this is what they're going to expect from you. This is why guys look goofy when they come and hit on you. We just don't know. So it's not, it's ignorant, and ignorance is not a problem. It's just being honest. You know what I'm saying? You can't expect us to have the same emotional and mental stability that you have, because we wasn't taught the same things growing up. And that's pretty much what the premise of the book is about, because I don't think people give that any consideration. They think because we're all adults, we're all just supposed to know better. But you've been conditioned to know better ever since you went, wah. You know what I'm saying? I've been conditioned to protect and defend and things like that. I'm not conditioned to be, they're looking for a knight in shining armor. I never heard this story. I heard about this when I was a grown man. It's like, these are the things we need to hear as boys, so that we know when we grow up, hey, they expect me to be chivalrous. They expect me to do this. They expect me to do that. I'm just going off of what the internet say right now. The internet say, y'all want my money. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't nothing but a job to you. That's what the internet is saying right now. So, the times are changing a lot when it comes to relationships and stuff. So I tell you, it's a dangerous time to be dating. That's all. I'll leave it as that. It's a dangerous time to be dating.
Look, man, we're going to have you on Let's Talk Tuesday, because we get into, that's where AJ, Angela Knight, you met her and everything. And our other co-host, Shauna V, we talk about the gamut, and I'm the only male on there, so I'm having to hold it up for the fellas, man. But surprisingly, a lot of women are saying, Gary, and it echoed when you were talking about the premise of your book and all that on social media, especially on Facebook. Women were just astounded at how, I guess, disconnected we can be from them. But it's all, as you indicated, based on the fact that we are brought up different. And we're not, like I said, from day one, they're almost looking to be taught how to marry a man and all these things.
How many men you know sit up with their 14-year-old friends planning what tuxedo they're going to wear for their wedding? It's unheard of. It's just, girls actually have, this is a childhood discussion of theirs amongst friends. They actually plan out who's going to be in it. Y'all might not even be friends when y'all get to y'all 20s, but this is the fantasy world that they live in, because it's the utopia of what you're supposed to aspire to. We don't know that. You know what I'm saying? We're just guys out here trying to find a way to make a living and to be able to take care of something when we get the responsibility of taking care of something. Women don't understand. Men don't work we don't work off emotion. We work off of logic. If you want to have a conversation with a man, have a logical conversation. The reason why we argue is because your conversations are always led with emotions. I tell women all the time, never approach a man saying, how do you feel about something? See, that's the word that's a triggering word for men, because we're not allowed to feel shit. You know what I'm saying? The minute we start feeling something, it's a problem. So, we can't feel. So don't come with the word feel. Come with, what do you think? Because that's the word we can understand. If you use the word think, you'd have much more effective conversations with men, because we don't really want to get into feelings, because we hear yours all day. And I could be honest with you, you need more girlfriends for that. Guys ain't into that. You know what I'm saying? That's not our space. That's not our lane. We're not into that emotional, touchy-feely space. And every time we try to be into that space, you'll start saying we're soft. Oh, you need to harden up, you need to toughen up. So it's like there's no room for a man to have flexibility. You know, even though we are, just as emotional and sometimes emotionally unstable as women can be sometimes, but we're not allowed to show that. We're not allowed to cry. We're not allowed to be emotional. And that's a box that men are being put in, while women are being able to, women can be men now. You know what I'm saying? Women are doing stuff men do now. And like, I hate that you do this stuff, but I do it better than you. It's like, oh, so it looks better on you. It's like society's sort of making a flip right now. Women are getting to a point where, they're very, very vocal about, how they feel about men. And if you watch on social media nowadays, they don't think much about us. If you listen to the music that's playing, especially in the Black culture, the music is saying separate Black male and Black female. We're literally destroying our own culture through music.
Right. I was watching, sometimes I'll sit with my wife and I'll watch some of these reality TV shows. And I think it was one of them was the Housewives of Potomac or whatever. Right. And the woman was talking and the guy was trying to express himself and she virtually said, "Shut up." And he shut up. I'm like, what they do that? I mean,
I'm from the 60s. We just don't, I come from the time of black and white films like The Honeymooners, where Alice, you're going straight to the moon, or back in the Bogart movies when the chick got erratic and dude was smoking a cigarette, he just slapped the shit out of her. Now I know that don't sound fashionable in 2023, but that's the way it was when I grew up. You know what I'm saying? Times were different. Women weren't as outspokenly disobedient as they are now. You know what I'm saying? Now they're just brash with it. It's like, I'm gonna play a dude better than you. I'm gonna tell you how much I hate your behavior, then I'm gonna do your behavior better than you. And for some reason, I want a reward for it. I want to be, regaled for doing the same stuff that I loathe being done to me.
Right.
It's like, it don't make you better. People have to learn, if a person does you wrong, then you stand in your truth of not being the wrong person. Once you do the same thing that person did, then you're no better than them, and you no longer have a leg to stand on. I can tell you from any man's standpoint, if a guy's, let's just use the word cheating. If a guy cheated on you and you cheated back on him, then he don't want to hear nothing else about that. Oh, you cheated on me. I don't want to hear nothing else about that, because as far as I'm concerned, we even, right? You did that too. So the women still want to have the power and the levity to say, well, I feel so wrong. That's why. I don't give a damn why you did what you did. I don't. You know what I'm saying? That's for you. That's not for me. What I give a damn about is that you keep telling me I did it when you did it too. That's the problem that men have, and women don't seem to understand it, because they want to browbeat you into feeling how they feel. I tell women all the time, we don't care how you feel. It's your feelings. My advice to you is always to, if you don't like what you feel, why don't you look at how he handling stuff? Because he's not dealing with feelings. See, so why, instead of having him get on the emotional plane of feeling what you feel, why don't you get on the logical plane of thinking like he thinks? Then we won't have these emotional problems. See, when we want to dominate, they want us to be in the emotional space, but they won't allow us to be emotional in it. So let's come over to logic where we could all have a fair ground.
Yeah. And, one of the things that gets me is, trying to emasculate men. I think that's just the equivalent of a man dogging a woman in public.
That's exactly what I'm saying. They were just reversing. It's the behaviors, the same behaviors that they were once complaining about, they're now proudly expressing. And all I'm saying is, if it didn't look good on a man, it definitely does not look good on a woman. And it changes. It will never be equal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just, whether you want it to be that way or not, we will never be equal. We're made of two different things. A man is made of dirt. You know what I'm saying? A woman is made of a part of a man. We're not even made of the same material. So we would never be equal in thinking. We'll never be equal in how we accomplish things. And that's not to say we're not equal in partnership. You know what I'm saying? Let's not get it confused. I think sometimes when women hear that, they think, oh, you're trying to say I'm below you. It's not a beneath thing. It's just we're two different types of beings that have the same purpose. We have the same needs, the same wants. We just have different ways of expressing them.
Exactly.
So it's not an issue of me being better than you or him being better than her or her being better than him. But that's what we become in a society of people that's expressing a lot of self-hate through music and through social media. I hear more things about relationships in a negative sense from Black people than I hear from any other race of people. We're too stuck on our feelings. We're too stuck on, when we should be stuck on things like growth. We should be stuck on things like financial growth. Is this somebody I can financially grow with? Because 90% of your problems is financial. So is this somebody I can financially grow with? Love, if you look at how times were back in the day, relationships were arranged. You know what I'm saying? Love was not why people had relationships. Relationships were arranged situations. They wasn't like, oh, I'm in love with you. You're in love with me. It was like, hey, you got some goats. I got some gold. I'm going to trade my daughter for the goats and the gold. This is just what life was back in the day. I mean, like what's fashionable now wasn't fashionable. I mean, what's not fashionable now was once fashionable then. Like, in the Bogart movie, you can slap a person. You can't do that now.
Right.
So times have changed. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like society changes as times change, but that doesn't mean that people don't still have old school values. Some men still have old school values of how they want things to be. And then women to say, well, hey, if you want to bring out my feminine energy, then you got to do some masculine stuff. Well, I don't have to do a damn thing. See, here's another thing people got to understand. Your feminine energy just needs to exist. If I see your feminine energy, I'm going to gravitate to that. All this a man needs to pay to activate your shit. This is not a Jerry curl. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not a Jerry. Shit. Just bring what you bring, and I'm gonna bring my masculine energy. You're gonna bring your feminine energy, and that's how we gonna roll. But this whole, I be reading these posts. It's just like men have. It's like with a new job. You know what I'm saying? It's like we have to not only go out and make money, but we have to be psychiatrists and psychologists to keep you mentally okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then pay for everything. Men don't need you for bills. We can recreate those ourselves. We good at it. You know what I'm saying? We're very good at creating our own bills. So we don't need you for that. It's like, so women start telling us what they need us for all the time, but we can't ever say what we need you for, because that's anything we want is, oh, that's superficial, or that's just physical, or everything is, it ain't much, but it's just always something wrong with what we want. Everything you want, 90% of it has a price tag on it.
You're right, man. And I would encourage, I read, you sent me the manual that, and I would encourage women to go and get the book. It's still out there, right? Where can they go?
Yeah, so you can go to Amazon.com. It's hashtag Why He Won't Marry You by Gary Anthony Sturgis. It has a ring box shaped like a heart without a ring in it. That's what's on the cover of the book. But when I tell you, ladies, when I was promoting the book, I was very my hashtags that I would post was very, they were insightful. They would incite things in people. They would get a rise out of people. So it would make people talk about the book. I did that because I wanted to sort of just, I know I can sort of poke the bear and get women excited when you say certain things. Oh, you're talking about us. But when you actually read the book, it's not really talking about you at all. It's talking about guys and how we are and how you can better understand it, because it's always about a guy understanding a woman. That's always our thing. You need to understand me. You need to work with me. You need to, everything is like, if you can't take me as I am, we have things too. You know what I'm saying? So it would help you to get the things that you want from a man if you could understand his needs and his wants, because they're way simpler. I mean, y'all got to scroll. We have a very, you can write everything we want on 1-ply toilet paper, like the one square. You can put it all on there. And I'm telling you, pretty much every man out there, men are very simple. Y'all make it complicated because y'all are complicated. And we're willing to deal with those complications if you're willing to deal with our simplicity. It's really that's it, man.
It's simple. It's crazy.
We don't mind spending money. We don't mind doing anything for you, but we like to feel wanted and needed. We don't want to feel like, oh, I'm just a new job. Right. I mean, when you finish working me, you go work Tony. When you finish working Tony, you go work Mike, and then you get mad at me for having Leslie and Tina. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand the logic here. Y'all got dudes in y'all phones under Popeyes.
Right?
Why is Popeyes calling you at 2:00 in the morning? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand.
Man,
y'all cheat too. Y'all just better at it. And y'all brag about that too. We just better at it. Okay, well, shut the fuck up then. You're no different than me.
Look, man. We had that conversation quite a bit on Let's Talk Tuesday.
Yeah, I gotta come join y'all. I like stuff like this. I find it fun. I've always had the relationship stuff. So bring me on there. I love to talk about that stuff.
In fact, I am. We'll get that done expeditiously, because
especially if Anne's gonna be on there, because you got people in Richmond that just I love bantering with when it comes to relationships. So
And
Bring
just
them
one
on.
of she'll tell us in a heartbeat, said we better cheaters than y'all, and she
Oh,
stands
she'll
firm
brag
on
about it. Oh my gosh, she'll brag about it. So, but I love that because honestly, that makes for great conversation because while telling me how screwed up guys are, you're steadily saying, hey, but we're better at it.
Kind of like an oxymoron.
Right. Because when we reverse the conversation and say, oh, that's screwed up, you know what it becomes? It becomes reversal back. Well, this is because you, and because you, it's like at what point, two things. Women love to use the word accountability, but they will never take that motherfucker. It would never take it. It was like, I know how to use it in a sentence, but it does not belong to me. It's not something I'm going to reach out and put my hands on and take. I just expect you to take it all the time, even when it's my fault. That's part of being a man that y'all don't understand. We have to be accountable for everybody's problems, not just our own. We have to be accountable for how you felt about how I felt about what you said.
Angie, if you're watching, and I know you're watching,
that's for you, Ange. That's for you, Ange.
We're gonna make sure Gary we bring him on because that's a whole different level of.
We can have some fun with that. I love talking relationship stuff because ultimately, I think we want the same thing. I mean, we can make fun and banter and go back and forth, but at the end of the day, the whole purpose of why I wrote a book is I want to see people accomplish their goals and getting the relationships that they want. And to me, the only thing stopping you from getting it is you overthinking stuff. Just let things go and let things be and meet people where they are, just like you want them to meet you where you are. Exactly.
Gary, we're going to take a quick break from our sponsors and everybody. I want you to know you can put your comments or if you have a question for Gary, drop it in the comments. And if it's respectful, we'll show it. If it's not, I'm not putting up with that bullshit. So y'all go on with that. I own this channel. Just in case you didn't see it, this is it, and that little flag up there. So don't come up here with that.
Don't bring that stuff, right?
Yeah. Don't do that. I'm saying don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it.
Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it.
Yeah. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
The first thing that you need to do is to make sure you get yourself to as safe place as you can. Find yourself a competent attorney who practices in personal injury and will understand some of the things that you're going through. And as I tell people, for 33 years I've been doing this. I've had my own accident. So I would like to be one of those individuals that they would interview so I could at least try to find out how I can best help them myself.
Again, if you've been injured, no fault of your own, make sure you call the G Law Firm, 804-226-4111. They are proud sponsors of Cruising Radio 102.8 and also Cruising Radio TV. Gary, man, here's the sweet thing since we've had you on the radio. We're on live right now on the YouTube channel. We're also simulcasting to our radio page. And then once this episode airs tonight, we're going to share it with all our pages. We got 15 Facebook pages, 5 Facebook groups, and we have a group now, man, Richmond VA Things to Do and more, 75,000 people on that page. And I grew it from in 2019 with just me and some others. I tell you,
awesome, brother. That's awesome.
Just putting in the work, man, and one of the things that, I see, and because I follow you on Facebook, I follow you on IG, and now you're doing social media, is that you put in the work, man.
Thank you, brother. I sure try. I got one life to live. I try to do the most I can do with it.
Well, I know I got to set this one up here because everybody, if you all have not seen Wicked on this one. First of all, I want to tell you got to go back and watch season 2 because if you don't watch season 2, it'll be like a deer in headlights. So season 1, you got to watch that first. I think it's about 6 episodes. Me and my wife, we binged on that when we saw that you and Karan and Vanessa, and then you got a whole, and we're going to get into that right after I play a couple of clips here. Phenomenal. And if you all have ever seen Gary, you thought he was badass, in A Diary of a Mad Black Woman when he told the lawyer, "God damn it, you are my lawyer."
Yeah, that was crazy time.
That was classic, man.
Thank you, brother.
Pure classic. So everybody, we're gonna set this up. Before I play one of the clips again, we got three. How did you get involved in this project, Wicked City?
Well, Tressa Smallwood from Megamind Media had hired me to do a job in Florida just about the time COVID started, around 2020. I wound up catching COVID, and I wasn't able to do the job. So they wound up, I think they hired Jeremy Meeks as somebody to replace me. And I wasn't able to do the job. But then fast forward a couple of years, she had been telling me, I got other stuff. I do a lot of projects. I want to work with you. So I'm going to find something that we can work together on. Wicked City came up. She had mentioned it a few months back, but the opportunity came up. They sent me the breakdown of what the character was, Julius, and I loved it. I was like, oh yeah, I would have a field day with this. And it was just a matter of all black, confirming, or denying whatever actors they wanted to work with or not. So my name was pitched up to Brett, and he approved me, which is great. Love you, Brett. And I wound up going on there to do the job. So it was pretty much an offer, and it's just a matter of the network approving me as the performer to do the job. So very fortunate that I was in that situation.
Well, audience, I'm gonna set this up for you. The first trailer that you're gonna see is season 2. Again. You're gonna see some scenes. So if you got some kids, just cover their eyes for a minute. But it's nice. And then we're gonna get into 3 clips that are heavily with Gary in it. I cannot tell you right now all the things that go on in this movie. We're gonna let Gary do it because it's got some twists, some turns. Every week is something. And so here's the first major clip from Wicked City Season 2.
Everything that we know is about to come crashing down hard.
Camille is gone.
We have to get you out of here.
Tabitha's dead. And Sharice is taken.
Don't make the mistake of thinking you can question me.
We'll stick together.
Of course. Your powers are growing, and I am not the only one who's taken notice.
Something or someone is coming.
We give you a mission to find and capture the sorcerer who calls himself the Handler.
This ain't a choice, is it? This is an order.
Sooner or later, you're gonna need my help.
Always stand by your girls. We're stronger together.
She's dangerous.
Sweet revenge.
Destroy. Remake. You are brimming with God power. And soon, we will welcome the goddess herself. Ladies, have you come to see the new council? It's me. I made sure to bring you in. Honed your powers since childhood, raised you, and eventually Camille was born after she died.
So you made sure she was still born?
And you made sure she came back. Camille was always supposed to die, just as she was meant to live again. To become Oya.
You killed her, you son of a bitch!
No! Focus!
I'm telling you right now, man.
Let me say I'm having a little technical difficulty. Hold on a second. I just lost light.
Not a problem. everybody.
You guys saw the clip. That was that's Wicked City. Julius, he's a nutcase. He's a total nutcase.
You know, again, when you look at season 1 and you look at season 2, it's almost like night and day with the theatrics, the graphics, even just all of the
effects, everything it's season 2. They just upped it a whole level. So yeah, it was a crazy difference. But it's important to see season 1 because a lot of the stuff that happens in season 1 is relevant to season 2.
Oh man, and see, I don't want to give too much because I want people to go watch this, but they don't understand. You 300 years old in this joint, man.
Yeah. I play a 300-year-old warlock named Julius Toussaint. He's the oldest member of the High Council of Witches that sort of govern what happens in the witching community. The show is set in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's a modern day show about a coven of women who practice witchcraft, Black women who practice witchcraft. And they have sort of tapped into a few things. They've done a few resurrection spells and things that were sort of above their pay grade. And my character, Julius, sort of comes down to render punishment for the crimes that they've committed against the magical world. That's initially what he says, but as you watch the story, you start to realize Julius has other intentions. He has other plans, and everything that he says is not quite what it seems. He has a mission. He's trying to raise a goddess to basically put witches in the forefront of society. It's like basically right now humans are they call them mundanes, is what we call human beings in the story. Right. And the human beings are running the world just like they do now in the modern times. But he's saying there's witches all over the United States and the world, and why are they in hiding when they have more power than human beings? So his sole purpose in life is to raise a goddess that can sort of render witches into the forefront. And that's pretty much why he's there and what his mission is. Now, how he goes about that, you'd have to watch to see. But that's he's pretty much telling you the moment he gets there that he has a mission that he's on. And as you watch how he bobs and weaves to accomplish it, you'll learn that he's a man of conviction, and there's really nothing that he won't do to accomplish his goals. So that's what I think I found interesting about the character. He stops at nothing. He's relentless. If you ever want to see what drive looks like, watch Julius. This guy, there's nothing he won't do to accomplish his goal, and the list of things that he does is many. So I would advise you to watch Wicked City.
Yeah, man. And talking about drive and will do whatever. The man will kill his own. You can tell about this because this one scene about the kids.
Well, part of his drive is he's the type of person that will sacrifice his own to reach his goals, and that's established quite a few times in the story. It's a theme that you'll see throughout the story with him, is that he's relentless when it comes to his goals, and nobody's off limits, not even his own children.
I got to go back here because if people weren't paying attention to this right here between you and Camille, there's a lot going on in this clip, and people again got to watch this whole setup, especially the beginning of because Camille was one of them hated that. And when I saw that, I'm like, I hate this bitch right here, because she was like, until you came on, I thought she was about the wickedest person I ever seen.
Oh, you talking about Claudette? Camille is the daughter. You talking about Claudette?
Claudette, yeah.
The Death Magic Witch. Yeah, Rhonda Mormon plays that role. Yeah, the Death Magic Witch.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Claudette. Right, Claudette was treacherous. She did some foul stuff too. But y'all got some connection. I'm gonna see if anybody catch this connection right here, because this right here, you got to listen carefully, and you got to put the dots together, because it weaves some things together. All right, I'm gonna play this one more time, everybody. If you got any questions, audience, make sure you put them in the comments right now. But hold on and listen carefully to this clip right here.
I made sure to bring you in. Honed your powers since childhood, raised you, and eventually Camille was born after she died.
So you made sure she was still born?
and you made sure she came back. Camille was always supposed to die, just as she was meant to live again. To become Oya.
You killed her, you son of a bitch. No. Focus.
No.
Yeah. Camille, if you guys watch the story, I think it's Taylor Polidori who plays the role of Camille, who you find out in the story, because she's in season 1. Right. You find out she's sort of in season 1, she's sort of a new person that comes into the coven, not really knowing of her powers, and she runs into a bunch of like-minded women who are aware that she has them, and they're trying to help her to understand who she is and learn her powers. And she doesn't know is that I'm her father. Right. That's what we find out in season 2, that this baby that you see born, because in season 1 you actually see Camille's birth in season 1. Mm-hmm. Which the very scene that you just saw sort of connects something that happens in season 1 and when the baby's stillborn. So those two things connect from season 1 to season 2. But Julius has been even without being in season 1, the things that he was laying out, because he's a long con type of person, the things that he was laying out were laid out in season 1, even though he never comes up. All of his work start there, and you actually see them manifest in season 2 when he starts explaining some of the things that he had lined up and how, he intended to use his daughter as a vessel to bring in this goddess. And that's pretty much what that scene was about. Claudette is learning every time that they talk more and more about what his intention was for their daughter, who at this point she thought has been taken to the council and executed, because in the story, the different witches have different types of magic. Right. One type of magic that people are uncomfortable with is death magic. So all witches who had death magic, they tried to find them and eliminate them. And Claudette is one of the few witches that still exists with death magic. But as I said in the scene, I found her as a child and realized she had that magic, and I did not let the council kill her because I needed her magic to accomplish a goal. Right. Which brings me back to the point that he's super focused on whatever his goals are. He's been planning this since childbirth. Right. And see, just in case anybody missed that, Julius is not a pedophile, okay? No. He waited till she got grown. Yeah, he's a warlock. And he raised a girl. She got grown. They became lovers, and they had a kid for the purpose of his ritual, which she didn't know that at the time. And this is something that would take 30 years before it could even happen. So it's something that he's been planning for many, many years. And especially when you get to like episode 5 or 6, I think one of them is like the 1800s. It tells you the handler's origin story, and in that you learn a lot about why he and I are at odds, and what it is that I want from him and what he took from me that I need back to do this ritual. So there's a lot of pieces that I need. So part of my presence in the story is coming to Earth to get the pieces that I need to actually perform the ritual. So and they're scattered about. So I'm using these girls, those witches, to help me find this guy so that I can get that last piece. Get that last piece. Now, last piece I need. I want y'all to hashtag New World Order, because that's going to be a something that you're going to hear, and you're going to need to remember that as part of. That's my line there. Yeah. Yes, I am bringing a new world order. So you guys have to. It's a great show. I mean, I honestly, when I signed on to do it, you never think about, as an actor, you never think about, I got to play this, witch or something like that. You don't think about it like that until you're actually doing it. Like when we had to do like the resurrection stuff and I had to speak in Yoruba, I was like, can I question? I had questions and shit. Like, like, what am I summoning something up? Because this seems very authentic, you know what I'm saying? And they were very stickler about me saying everything accurately. So I was like, wait a minute, just make sure I ain't, conjuring up nothing. So I had to do a little praying sometimes while doing this job. But when I tell you the end result was just incredible, you go into these things never knowing what the special effects are going to look like, because we don't see any of that stuff when we're doing it. Right. So when even me watching, I'm enjoying it because I was like, that wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to see it pop up and it's like, oh, we actually played it, so it worked. So it's kind of interesting when you're playing to imaginary things that have to be put in post. But we did a lot of that. Matter of fact, I posted on my Facebook page a clip of me and Darlitra in the opening scene when I appear and I'm choking her. in this abyss of darkness. I posted the actual filming of it and the actual post-production shot that you guys saw. And when you see the actual frames together, you realize there's two dudes in green suits holding her up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and the lights are all on and I'm choking her, you know what I'm standing on a box. So it's like, but that's not what you see when you actually see it cut together. So the movie magic is phenomenal. I wouldn't say what I do for the world.
Man, that's great. I mean, this last Thursday, of course, I was watching it, and my wife and I were watching it. And when it got to that end, I had to text you, and call you and say, "Man, this right here is just crazy. Like nuts."
Yeah, I told you it's gonna get crazy. One thing I'll say about this show, the hits keep coming. You know what I'm saying? It's when you watch season 2. It's just every time you think you know what's going on, there's a new wrinkle. There's a new wrinkle. There's a new wrinkle. So. I mean, you got the girls split up from season 1. Sharice is on one side of the world while the other girls are battling on the other side of the world. So it's a lot going on. But I think there's not a lot of shows like this. So I tell people all the time, if you want to see as Black people, we should be doing a range of projects just like our white counterparts. It's just that sometimes when we do a range of stuff, we tend to limit ourselves as a viewing audience and say, oh, that's witchcraft, oh, that's voodoo, oh, that's this, oh, that's that. White people do these same kind of projects, Charmed, and these type of projects that become hits for years, and they don't live in the box of, oh, we can't do that, our Christianity does not allow it. God knows what's going on. He created all this stuff, so it's all entertainment. And sometimes people have to look at it as just that. I got friends, religious friends, that won't even watch the show because it deals with witchcraft. So it's like, oh, I can't watch that. It's like, well, if you don't believe in witchcraft, why are you disturbed by it? It's like, that's just weird to me. So it's like, it's a performance. I want you to see my performance in it and some of the other actors' performances in it. But I got friends that be like, oh, no. But I tell you, it's a worthy watch. It's actually a very entertaining show. And we had a blast doing it. Actually, a few of us are up for, NAACP Image Awards because of the show. So, hopefully they'll land some of those nominations and we'll win some of those awards for the show. It should be great. Bring more awareness to the show.
I really hope so, man. And when I look at Gary, just beyond, like I said, people in their hangouts about it, just the quality of work, the level of details that you guys bring, and just your transformation to be able to, because I know you're a dude that's, they showed one clip, man, where I think it was you all were chilling between sets and they were dancing, and then you
Let me tell you how that happened. We were at lunch. This was we were shooting. This is the day we were shooting. Actually, we were shooting the stuff that you're going to see next week. The finale stuff. And so we all were there because usually, they're shooting the handler stuff is a totally different set of people and sets than what I'm working on. So this is when we're on the handler set because that's where everything sort of, surmises. And we're at lunch and the girls were all sitting there talking about making this video just for TikTok or whatever. I'm 57 years old. I don't be, making no TikTok videos and shit. But they were trying to get me what they wanted me to do, was you saw they were dancing and shaking or whatever. Right. They wanted me to jump in and do that. I'm like, I'm 57 years old. I'm not doing that. They said, well, you got to be in the video. You got to be in the video. So when it started, I just ran across the screen and it became one of the funniest videos because, I got blood on my arm. Nobody knows why, what I'm saying? I got a bloody shirt on, you know what I'm saying? I just jog right past so it was fun. I didn't expect it to go viral. It actually did, which was crazy. It's just some stuff we was having fun on set, and one goofy moment became a viral moment. So yeah, it was fun times.
Yeah, man, that was fact. And shout out to Vanessa Bell Calloway. I understand she's the executive producer. Yep, she starred in it, man.
Yep.
How is it working as we going to do a shift here with someone that has been in the game and now seeing her do some things behind the camera? Can we expect at some point in time for you to be doing some things along that line as well?
Yes, I mean, I have a passion for directing. I've got a few projects that's sort of floating around at a couple of studios right now that I'm hoping that I could close deals on. And if so, you guys will be able to see me direct. These are things that I've written. So you guys will be able to see me direct and see some characters that I actually wrote to create for myself. Because everything I write Like I wrote one series that I wrote that Rebirth of a Nation, which I'll play the lead character in, but then I wrote another series called Snitch where I'll play an ancillary character because I want to direct it. So I want to show people some of the other things that I'm good at doing, and directing and storytelling is one of them. So yeah, ultimately I'm going to have my name as executive producer on some of my own projects, and it's in directing as well. So that's the direction I'm going in 2024.
I mean, don't find some part where I can rock my long, Willie Nelson beard here.
I see where you're going here. I see where you got the Billy Goat thing going. I see you, bro.
Yeah, man,
I see you.
I can be the first black hillbilly,
And that's that East Coast thing. I know it's like when I come out to Jersey, I know it's a lot of cats got the long beard thing going on. Like, I guess because it be cold out there. See, it be hot where I'm at, man. I be trying to get all this off. It's
right.
It's hot.
Yeah, we rocking that, man. But
it looks good, bro.
And I know the work that you all put in because I had my little taste in movie making some years ago, and people don't understand it's a lot of work. A 30-second clip or scene can take 4 to 5 shots or an hour long. And I was like,
people don't realize that. I would take friends that's not in the business to set from time to time because they think, oh, movie set, whatever. And they come and they be like, wow, this is boring as hell, man. It's like, hurry up and wait. Y'all keep shooting the same shit over and over. I mean, I tell people all the time, it's not a glamorous job. The outcome of it, is glamorous because we'll put on the Ritz to show it to you. But the actual process of making films and making movies, it's not glitz and glamour. It's not like, oh wow, we on a set. It's long hours. It's a lot of repetition. It's a lot of hurry up and wait is the comment that we use. It's like be on set. You got to be on set for 6 o'clock in the morning. You may not shoot till after lunch at 1. You know what I'm saying? But you had to be there. You know what I'm saying? So like you be thinking all the other stuff you could have done the last 6 hours. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the way the thing works. And those of us who are disciplined enough to do it, and we do it well. But it's we tend to make people like me tend to make a very difficult job look very easy. And then what starts to happen is everybody and their mama start thinking, well, hey, if Gary could do it, I could do it. I just make it look easy. I promise you it's not. Memorizing all these lines and being able to call upon them as soon as somebody say action. When you got 40 people standing around you, doing all kind of distracting shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just talking, eating donuts, dropping shit. All this is going on while you trying to focus on, because in the world of cinema, when you're watching it as a viewer, you just see me and whoever the hell I'm on screen with. Well, that's not what we see. We see the dude holding the boom mic. We see the producer over there cussing out somebody. We see a lot of stuff that y'all don't see while we making this stuff, and we have to concentrate through all of that. And it's more challenging than you think. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you this was probably one of the most challenging jobs I've ever done because it was a world unlike a normal world that I've ever performed in. You know what I'm saying? There's things like Goddess Stones and the Knife of Okan and things. I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm saying this stuff. I'm like, can somebody show me what the hell this is so I can know what I'm talking about? So it was a lot of learning curve for me with this. And doing shots for special effects, it's a little bit different than doing a normal shot. I need a shot this particular way, so I need you to do this again, and you gotta make it like you did it the first time, but I'm shooting from a different angle. So there's a lot of complicated stuff that come along with shooting movies with special effects. So it was quite a challenge, but I stepped up to it, and I think people see the outcome. They're pretty happy with what they're seeing. I'm getting a great response from this project, and I never expected that. When you get up and go to work to do this, you don't think, once this all comes out, somebody's going to see this and say, hey, that should go up for an Image Award. We don't think like that when we go out to do this stuff. We just try to do the best work we can. And if people see it and they see that in it, then that's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. For you latecomers, y'all sitting in the back of the class, I'm going to go through these clips one more time because I really want you all to go out and support this phenomenal series, support Gary. He's been doing this a long time. He's done, but when you see him in this one, you're going to see, when the sword comes through him and all that kind of stuff, his reaction. People don't understand, and I want to say this before I finish, timing too. When you're talking and you're interacting in your dialogue with another person on set, that timing has to be impeccable, because if they say something and there's a lapse or you say it too soon, it can screw up the whole dynamics of that one scene, man.
Yeah, well, that's important because talking, especially when you're recording, we both have on mics and it overlaps. If they're trying to edit later on and my voice is overlapping your voice, they can't control the edit. But if they got my voice clean and your voice clean, if no matter who the camera's on, they can manipulate the voices to sound like they're perfectly timed. So it's a matter of having that little small second of breath in between people speaking. And when you're in the middle of acting, people sometimes improvise, sometimes they drag lines, so you never know when the conversation gonna actually end. You just kind of got to be in the moment and be ready to perform your part when they finish performing their part. And every act is different. Everybody's processing is different. So, it's a different experience every time you work with a different person. But, I will say everybody that I worked with on these particular sets, especially with Wicked City, just, a consummate professionals, a lot of young actors on this joint, but totally professionals. And everybody killed their thing. So, yeah, Wicked City, all black. Check it out.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, we'll give you a run on these clips again. And then, Gary, we're going to talk about when we come back, some of the projects you got going up. And then, man, we're going to let you get back to the family because it's Sunday. It's
I know, right? I got to go cry about my Saints loss. I got things to cry about. So
All right, guys. Wicked, season 2.
Everything that we know is about to come crashing down hard.
Camille is gone.
We have to get you out of here.
Tabitha's dead. And Sharif is taken.
Don't make the mistake of thinking you can question me.
We'll stick together.
Of course. Your powers are growing, and I am not the only one who's taking notice.
Something or someone is coming.
We give you a mission to find and capture the sorcerer who calls himself the Handler.
This ain't a choice, is it? This is an order.
Sooner or later, you're gonna need my help.
Always stand by your girls. We're stronger together.
She's dangerous.
Sweet revenge.
Destroy. Remake. You are brimming with God power. And soon, we will welcome the goddess herself. Ladies, have you come to see the new council? It's me. I made sure to bring you in. Honed your powers since childhood, raised you, and eventually Camille was born after she died.
So you made sure she was still born?
And you made sure she came back. Camille was always supposed to die, just as she was meant to live again. To become Oya.
You killed her, you son of a bitch! No! Focus!
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I've watched a lot of my own work, but even I'm impressed with this stuff because it's like, I remember doing it. It's like when you're doing something, it's like I said, I want to carry this guy. When they said, well, how you gonna play the character? I said, well, I was in Atlanta. I just shot a movie with Rhonda, who plays Claudette. We had just left New Jersey shooting another movie that's coming out real soon. And I flew to Atlanta. She flew to LA to go shoot something else, and we're supposed to meet in Atlanta. And when I got there, I'm coming off this other character. I just played this guy who just got shot up in the street. I'm playing this,
right.
So it's like I didn't think, oh yeah, this is just gonna be hard. You know what I'm saying? So I just started looking at the lines, like, damn, got a lot of mini monologues. I feel like Joe Morton in this joint. You know what I'm saying? So it was quite the undertaking, and I wanted to. What was important to me was to try to come up with a character that would be memorable and fit the description of what it is that they gave me. I wanted a guy who sounded like he's been around for 300 or plus years. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted the way, the cadence and how I decided to speak for the character, and the mannerisms, the hand gestures, the way I walked, everything was thought out. It wasn't some just random shit. I actually thought I want to carry myself as a guy who's worldly, you know what I'm saying, who's been around the world and back. And then when you hear the other actors and characters talk about the character, they speak about him like, you know, this is like the oldest witch on earth and he's dangerous, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to play him in such an eloquent way that you love him while hating him. And for those who don't know, I tell people all the time, when you see the character, when I decided the route I would take to play him, I thought maybe if I played him as a person who did not see himself as a villain. And that's what you know, I wanted it to come across. It. Everybody else sees him as a villain.
Right.
But he does not see himself as a villain, because what he's trying to accomplish is for the benefit of his people. You know what I'm saying? To him, he's the Martin Luther King, Malcolm X of witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but to the witches, it's like, dude, that shit you trying to do crazy. You know what I'm saying? But to him, he's trying to do something for the benefit of his people. So when you look at it from the perspective of Julius, no matter how crazy some of the things that you hear about him or some of the things he does to accomplish his goal come across, he's genuinely doing something from his own perspective to help his people. So, you know, that's when I approached the character, that's the way I approached it. I didn't walk into it saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna play the bad guy, whatever. He's only bad because he's in conflict with the seemingly good characters, or the main characters, you know, want. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't necessarily mean what he wants is bad. It's just how he's going about accomplishing it is potentially bad. And he doesn't see or care about that. He doesn't care about collateral damage. He doesn't care about, you know, if he's willing to sacrifice his own kids, do you really think he care about you? You know what I'm saying? He just wants his goals to be met. And he's one of them type of people that will go to any length to do it.
Man, when they seen that the council was destroyed and Tabitha and Claudette came in along with another one that anybody didn't see because she went to her little invisible power.
She has invisibility, right?
Yeah. And you sit there, that moment we just saw, you said, if you're looking for the council.
New council. That was, honestly, when we shot that scene, it was, at this point, we were towards the end of the production. So we all were very comfortable with the characters we were playing. And I remember when we shot the scene, because that was the first and only scene that I got to shoot with the great Vanessa Bell Calloway. You know, because our characters just didn't interact like that until that particular moment. And I was so tickled, you know, by doing this thing. Because I actually knew Vanessa from a doctor friend of mine, because I knew her husband before I knew her from Dr. Calloway, through a doctor friend of mine. They were friends. So I met him before I met Vanessa. So I kind of, in a way, felt like I kind of indirectly knew her. So when we did the scene, it was just fun because, you know, it was so cocky. Because at this point, I've destroyed the whole council. I'm sitting there on the throne, you know, with this, you know, this vessel that's about to become a goddess, and I'm feeling myself, you know. So when we shot the scene, I wanted it to come off because he had been so stoic the whole time. But now it was a moment of triumph, and I wanted him to feel cocky and triumphant. That's why when I sat there in the chair, I was on the conversation on the phone. I'm still working on the ritual stuff for later on, but I see them and I get excited. And I'm happy that they came. And that's why I jump about the chair. And I'm like, oh, I knew you would come because, you know, so we could do this and that. But ultimately, you know, those who've seen up until this far, ultimately, I'm trying to get them to work with me. You know what I'm saying? All this time, I'm trying to fight Claudette and I'm trying to fight Tabitha. I'm really trying to get them to work with me and see things my way.
Yeah, because you actually extended
I extended the olive branch, right? I extended, we can do this together. You know what I'm saying? We can be a team because think about it. There is no council. There's 8 seats up here. You know what I'm saying? There's only one person sitting up here. That's why I love the line when they say, oh, you've come to see the new council. It's me. You know, it's the cockiest line in the show.
Yep, it is so dope because it's, you know, even though it's not you, it seemed like you. You know
it has Gary-esque characteristics to it. I will give it that. It does.
Yeah, it's so dope. And again, Gary, we're looking forward. In fact, Malika Perkins Bless, I've been in contact with her, and that is Kaden is her name, and she's Claudette's sister. Yes. And so she will be hopefully we get everything, all the moon aligned. She will be following behind you in an interview, hopefully coming up as well. So thank you because of our relationship and the phenomenal work that you do. Her people are just inclined. Again, I hope that they're watching as well because
I'll give her a call. Let her know you legit as they come, brother. I mean, I know you know you. You know, there's a lot of people I do interviews with that I've never met past the interview, but you and I have actually broke bread. So yeah, I have no problem. I'll let Malik and them know. Yeah, please do cruise show. If you're gonna do a show, do my boy a cruise show.
Appreciate it. Yeah, now you got a couple of some other projects coming up, and we're gonna talk about that. Then we're gonna go watch some football, man.
You got it, brother. Well, yeah. Well, one of the ones that I went number one on Tubi is a movie called Still Here. Chris Stokes has been cranking out movies on Tubi. They go number one every time he drops one. Just so happens I'm in this one called Still Here. Very good, very good, very good movie. Charles Malik Whitfield, Blue Kimball, V. Bozeman, Flex Alexander, and myself. Very good cast of folks. If you get a chance to watch Still Here on Tubi, it's absolutely free. Do tune in. I got a bunch of things on Tubi that you guys can watch. I have another one called False Pretenses that's running on Tubi right now about a group of young kids. My son and a bunch of his friends get together and they do a susu. They try to build a banking community from an old African tradition of, put money in the pool of bank and you give the money to one person and they start a business, and you do this every year until everybody's pooled enough money to start a business. It's an old African tradition. Well, in this particular story, my son goes out, they do this. A year later, when it's time to split the money, they meet out in the cabin in the Poconos, and my son ends up dead. So the story goes haywire after that because I'm a crazy father who shows up at the cabin.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I show up at the cabin under weird circumstances. There's two cops at the cabin too, and one of them has got his own negative intentions. And we're all trying to get to the bottom of who killed my son.
Right.
And we all have different methods of doing it, but I play an insane father in that joint that's struggling with the loss of his son. And then there's another one. What is the other joint I got? Oh, A Father's Pride. There's another joint I did out of the East Coast, a New Jersey movie, where I play a pastor who's he's got two sons, Shadrach and Meshach, which is very biblical. One is in the streets, the other one is trying to be a minister, but he's not very good at it. And my character owns two businesses. He owns a restaurant and he owns the church. He wants one of his sons to run the church, the other son to run the restaurant, but not the ones that want to run the one that they want to run. And he's trying to tell his son that this is what God put on his will to tell him. But the kid's for the streets, and he's not trying to be a preacher. But a set of circumstances make him have a come to God moment, come to Jesus moment. And he finds his own calling because my character in that particular story is dying of cancer. So it's a pretty interesting, heartfelt story because at the time we come into the story, we find out he's having a bad go with stage 4 cancer, and he's trying to prepare his sons for what he wants them to do once he leaves this earth. That's why it's called A Father's Pride. So if you guys get a chance to see A Father's Pride, False Pretenses, Still Here, all movies that's on Tubi right now.
And I saw False Pretenses, man. When you're sitting there with the 9 in your hand and everything,
that was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was so cold out there. Man, I'd never been. That cabin, it was so cold out there when we shot that movie. They had deers out there, man. So they got bears be out there. I'm like, now I'm good. I'm gonna stay inside. I'm not used to all that. Yeah, but it was crazy. I had a great time shooting it though. But it's a very fun movie, a very fun watch. A lot of good young actors in it. So support some of these films. We can't. As independent filmmakers, we can't make movies if you guys don't support the movies. And before we didn't have distribution platforms to put them on, and now there's Tubi and Peacock and Hulu and all these places. People are, putting stuff out there. I even got one on Urban Flicks right now called In the Shadows.
Okay.
Guys want to see me do some espionage type shit. You know what I'm saying? I got a show that's been running on it's been on there for about a year now, running on Urban Flicks TV. So, there's In the Shadows that's out there where I play sort of a off the grid CIA operative that has a private organization that runs above the government, and we go around the world solving world crimes under the radar with actually no governmental support whatsoever. So, yeah, but I've got a lot of things out there. People used to see me play the bad guy. I've got a lot of things where I'm playing cops, and even in Still Here, I'm a detective. You know, there's other roles that I'm starting to play so that people can see, you know, I can do more than just play the bad guy. So, you know, that's why Wicked City and Still Here and all of these movies are very important for you to view, because I want people to see the range of what it is.
Exactly. And we need to start, like I said, supporting Black industry, Black media.
We should
always, you know,
if we want to continue to have it, we have to support it. And lucky for us, a lot of these things are falling into free platforms. I mean, All Black is subscription, and you know, Urban Flicks and you know, Fubu Network, they're all subscription, but Tubi's free. And a lot of these projects are popping up on Tubi. I got a lot of films that I've done years ago that didn't have places to go, but they're ending up on Tubi now. So if you get a chance, check them out. Like I say, all about a check. I'm not in it, but I wrote it. So do check out some of the things that I write as well.
Absolutely. Don't go anywhere, Gary. I appreciate it. And we're going to get you hooked up for Let's Talk Tuesday as well. So we get you on that platform, man. And this is when you bring your drink on that one.
Oh yeah. I'll be because it's going to be fun times. I love talking relationship stuff.
Don't go anywhere, my brother. Hold on just a minute. Everybody, again, we've enjoyed chopping it up with Gary. One of the few guys that I know personally, what you see is what you get. He keeps it 1,000. He's going to tell you like it is, whether you want to hear it or you don't hear it. You know, he's going to tell you, and he's going to be real upfront about it. Gary, again, don't go anywhere, man. Everybody, appreciate you guys being here with us tonight. I got to get this shot one more time because this is Gary. You know, I love this film right here. We're gonna let you have your night. But
ladies, have you come to see the new council? It's me.
You got to check it out again on the All Network. It's every Thursday night. I'll shoot the time. We'll put the time out there that you can go out there. But subscribe to All Black. Go out to Tubi. Make sure you all support Black media. You know, no matter what's going on, we need to support the work that's being done because we got a lot of quality people and doing a lot of quality things. So don't forget Cruise Inc. Radio 102.8. Go to our website, cruiseinkradio.com. We got Christmas music going on. We got the vibe going on. So we appreciate you being here with us tonight. As I always say, whatever comes from the heart reaches the heart. Let somebody know how much you care about them before it's everlasting too late. God bless you. Again, go Cowboys. Thank you, 49ers. We appreciate what y'all did tonight. All right. Talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good one.